St. Benedict is a culture of life. We say here, and we say it often, we find out who we are and whose we are. Ultimately, we're God's.
It's who we are. So it's not just something that we talk about. It's not a selling point. We as a Catholic school, that's our foundation.
We're preparing these students for Harvard and heaven.
As not only a staff member, but as a parent as well, it's so refreshing to see 17 and 18-year-olds talking about their faith, excited about their faith.
What makes SBA such a special place is that we understand that God is present in every one of the disciplines, in every one of the classrooms, in every one of the experiences that you have here.
What separates us is our academics. Sure, they're exceptional, but that's not our ultimate goal. Our ultimate goal is to prepare these children for life within their faith.
It starts when I walk into the building. I see the rotunda and how massive it is, and I see the quotes that the school has hung up on different sides of the rotunda, and it makes me feel small, not in a bad way, but it makes me feel as if I'm a small part of something that's so big.
Every child deserves to have his or her life transformed by the knowledge of a loving God, encountering Him in their classes, and also knowing that they're called to participate in that same knowledge. And so this is what Catholic education offers. It's a curriculum driven by the mission of the gospel that makes this school unique and life-changing.
We live our faith here at St. Benedict because we accept everyone, whether students on the bowling team, whether they're in theater, whether they have a 36 on the ACT, or they have a learning difference. Everyone has a place here, and everyone is excited for everyone else.
We call ourselves the Nest, and when you think about the word nest, it has that homey feeling to it. And that's truly what it is here at St. Benedict.
At the school, no matter where a student's interest lies or where they come from, they find a home here, and they're embraced by other students. And I've seen so many of them come out of their shells. I've seen so many of them find their purpose here.
Any kid can show up here and find a way to fit in, whether they're the star of the basketball team or in the theater, or someone who's shy and doesn't really make friends easily, then any kid can learn how to find their way, which I think is the most important thing about high school.
When they walk in the door, we don't put them into a cookie cutter program. They're able to get where they need to be and to grow. If for some it's athletics, for others it may be robotics, dance, choir, band. They come in and we help them develop their passion.
Chapel is obviously the heart of SBA, and when I see it, it sort of puts me in the right mindset for the day. It gets me going.
To be able to go into the chapel in front of the Blessed Sacrament, the body and blood of Christ, in front of the Blessed Sacrament, and be there in that presence and grace, they can calm down. They get out of the rat race of the everyday school, of tests and exams and so forth, and they're able to sit and pray and find out who they are.
Part of our mission in the school is to serve. And so I serve, we teach the students to serve, and we teach them they can find themselves through serving others.
My favorite part of the school day is always the beginning of the day. I stand out in the hall. Where they walk past me, I'm pretty close to the front door, and I smile at everyone as they come in and say good morning. And you can tell some of them aren't feeling it sometimes, but you can't help it when you get smiled at to smile back. And so hopefully then they walk past me and pass it on to another student, and we're just spreading that kind of goodwill through the school.
We're going to get to know your interests. We're going to stop and talk to you in the hallways. We're going to allow you to come vent to us and talk to us about concerns that you have. That's all part of the growth process that we're talking about with our students.
It's this bond of knowing that when you walk into a classroom after class, you can talk to these teachers, have a one-on-one conversation with them about anything in life.
For our teachers and staff, it's not a job, it's a vocation, it's a calling that God has made, and they've answered, yes, I'll do what you want me to do.
That's our ultimate goal each and every day with our students, is to know that they are loved by our faculty and staff, and they're going to be challenged to grow within that love while they're here at St. Benedict.
Just the connection that you feel here, this connection of love is just so strong, and it never fades away no matter what happens. And I love that about SBA.
We're trying to welcome them into an environment where they know they're loved, and then when someone's loved, they can grow and they're comfortable with themselves, and they can cultivate the identity that God gave them. So we acknowledge that everyone was created with infinite dignity and worth in the eyes of God, and then we're able to use the raw material, as it were, to help the Lord in creating these diverse and beautiful human beings.
God made us all differently, and the kids come in all at different levels, and with our Plus program, our traditional honors, AP, and now even capstone, we can take where they are and help them to grow and improve and to make them into the very best version of themselves they can be.
The underlying goal is that everybody gets an education that's solid, figures out what their purpose is, and at the end of the day goes off to do something positive, and I'm just kind of glad that I can be a part of that.
The teenage heart especially is longing for authentic relationships. They're longing to know that they belong and that they have a future that is full of hope.
One of my favorite Bible verses, Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 11, incorporates that of what I'm feeling right now. It says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." And that's what happened at St. Benedict. I have a future, and I have hope for the future.
Thank you.